Hi class, today I'm going to show you how to create a Google map of your own of Egypt and the Nile. So please start by opening a tab that has your Google Drive. And in your Google Drive, you're going to come over here to New. Click on New and go to More. Under More, there are a bunch of other options of things you can create. We are going to create our own Google My Map. This is going to be a Google map that you're going to interact with and add tabs to and icons and images and interact with in a bunch of ways. Once it loads, the first thing I want you to do is name it because it's currently named Untitled Map. Once it's all finished loading, it's going to show the US and we're going to just click on the words Untitled Map and go ahead and name it Egypt and the Nile. And you can add a description later. Click Save. Now we're going to start by coming to the search bar here, and I want to start by searching for Cairo. Cairo is the capital of Egypt. You just type in Cairo. You'll get a bunch of options there. Let's just do Cairo and hit Enter. And it's going to bring us over to Egypt, and it's going to show us where Cairo is. It's running a little slow today. So that green pin you can see is on Cairo, which is just north of Giza, and you can see the Nile. So we are clearly in the correct place. We want to go ahead and add this pin to the map. So click Add to Map. Now we have a pin we can interact with and customize. So let's go ahead and change this icon style. Hover over the paint bucket, click on that, and I want you to make it purple. And I want you to make it a star because Cairo is the capital. So see the star icon there. So now we have a pin that's a purple star. While we are in there, you can add details and other things, but for now, let's just leave the pin there on Cairo. All right, for our second pin, I'd like us to add a pin at Alexandria. And hit Enter. It's going to bring us up north to Alexandria. Alexandria is a city, as you can see, in the Nile Delta, right on the coast of the Mediterranean Sea. Go ahead and add that pin to the map. Let's customize that pin style also. I'd like you to make it a yellow shopping cart. And the reason we're making it a shopping cart is because Alexandria is, and has been for hundreds and thousands of years actually, has been a center for commerce and trade. So no shopping cart here, but under More Icons, you can see you're going to have a lot of other options. It's going to take a long time to look through all of those. So under the filter here, let's just type in shopping. And you can see a shopping cart right here will pop up. So just click that and OK. And you've got a yellow shopping cart for Alexandria now. All right, we're going to come back to Alexandria in a bit. Right now, let's just leave the pin there. Let's go now to one of the origins of the Nile. So we're going to go to the Ethiopian highlands. Which is in Ethiopia, south of Egypt. And let's go ahead and add a pin to the map there. And the Ethiopian highlands aren't exactly mountains, but they are higher than the desert. So let's make this pin brown and let's make it mountains. So under More Icons, we'll just type in mountains. Mountain, there we go. Okay, we've got the Ethiopian highlands. This is one of the sources of the Nile. There are two sources of the Nile, if you remember our discussion from yesterday. The second source is Lake Victoria. So let's go ahead and add a pin at Lake Victoria. All right, there's Lake Victoria. We talked about the size of this lake. It's very large, probably in volume similar to the Great Lakes. Go ahead and add in a pin. Change the icon. Let's make it blue because it's water. Go under More Icons. And let's make it a waterfall. And there's a nice little waterfall. Okay. Now that we've added Lake Victoria, I want you to learn how to add an image to this. So go ahead and close the icon tab and go to the camera here. And let's find an image of Lake Victoria to add to this pin. I'm going to search under More at Google Image. and type in Lake Victoria there. And let's see what images we've got that pop up here. You can scroll through and find an image that you like, maybe not a satellite image because we're looking at a satellite view, but any image that you like of Lake Victoria. I like this one up here. And select it, and it's going to add it right to that pin. You can add several images to a pin. It doesn't have to just be one. You can also move your map around this way. All right. I zoomed way in. I need to zoom back out. I meant to just move my map over. Okay. You can add several images to a pin, and you can add text to a pin too. So let's go ahead and add text in this box and say Lake Victoria is one of the sources of the Nile. And click Save. Notice that Lake Victoria, let's go ahead and close this box of information. Lake Victoria is part of 3 different countries. It's in Uganda and partly in Kenya and also partly down here in Tanzania. Most of it lies in Tanzania and Uganda and a little bit in Kenya. It's a huge lake. All right, now that we're looking at Lake Victoria, I want you to kind of center it so the lake's in the middle of the picture like mine. I want you to come down here to base map. Right now we have the standard Google base map, but I want to go ahead and change it to a satellite view. This is actually a live satellite, not live, but a recorded satellite view from some of the Google satellites of the lake, and it's actually a lot more interesting to look at. Now I want you to notice where the pin for Lake Victoria is. Let's pull that to the bottom of the screen. And over here, we're going to zoom out. So click the minus. We're going to see if we can trace the Nile from Lake Victoria. You can see it coming out of Lake Victoria here, all the way to Alexandria, where we dropped the pin of the yellow shopping cart. So we're going to keep zooming out until we see the Nile. Okay, I can see the Nile up here, but we don't even have Egypt in the map yet. So keep zooming out. Every time you zoom out, just zoom one at a time and then recenter your map. All right, now you can see Alexandria way up here. So this is one of the sources of the Nile, Lake Victoria. And here's the Ethiopian highlands, the other source of the Nile. You can see how long the Nile River is. It's very, very long. I would like you now to try to add a line. We're going to draw a line, and it's not going to be perfect, but we'll be okay. For this, we might go back to the other base map, see if we can see the Nile a little bit more easily. Not really. So maybe we need to zoom in one. Nope, still challenging to see. So we will go ahead and go back to satellite view. And I want you to try to add a line here where we're going to trace the Nile. So starting at Alexandria, well, let's start Lake Victoria. You're going to click and draw a line coming out of Lake Victoria here. And you can click along the way to add different curves in the river. I can kind of see where the river's coming here. And you're going to trace the river. I'm not going to do the whole thing. You guys see the way to do this because I want you to do it. I'm going to go just straight on up, which this is not going to be accurate, but straight on up to Alexandria here. Once you've done that and you've finished your line, you can click one more time at the end to close that line off. And then go ahead and click on this ruler here, and it will show you the length. And my river, you're going to have to name it. And then once you click save, I want you to look in the bottom corner and see how long your estimated drawing of the Nile is. Once you've found the length, I want you to post a comment in the Google Classroom under this assignment as far as how long is the Nile according to your drawing, and you can compare it to other people in the class. All right, we're going to do a few other activities with mapping here in a few minutes, but I want you to go ahead and finish this one up, add your comment to Google Maps, and you can go to the second video.